Okay, so you know how we all have those big goals, those dreams we're always meaning to chase,
Hmm.
but then figuring out that first step feels impossible. Like, where do you even start?
Right.
Well, that's what this deep dive is all about. We're breaking down Succeed. That's the book by Heidi Grant Halvorson.
Yeah.
She's a PhD, a total expert on this stuff.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you the best strategies to actually achieve your goals.
Hmm.
Because who has time for motivational fluff? We want action.
And what's so great about Halvorson's work is it's all about the science behind it. She really gets into why typical goal setting doesn't work. It's all about how our brains work, you know?
Totally. It's like, how many New Year's resolutions have we all made about eating healthier row acre?
Oh, tell me about it.
And then life gets in the way. And suddenly it's June and you're surrounded by takeout containers. So what's the deal with that? Why do we self-sabotage like that?
It's not really self-sabotage. It's that we're not setting ourselves up for success. A vague goal like be healthier,
Yeah.
it's just not enough for our brains to grab onto.
It's like that saying, right? A goal without a plan is just a wish. We need those concrete steps, those milestones along the way to actually stay motivated.
Exactly. Halvorson has this great analogy in the book. Imagine putting "take me somewhere nice" into your GPS. You're going to be driving in circles forever.
Oh, for sure. Lost and
Yeah.
Hungry, my
Oh.
personal nightmare.
Right. Your GPS needs a specific address, a destination, and our brains are kind of the same way. We need a challenging but achievable goal to really get us going.
So instead of eat healthier, it's more like cook 3 healthy meals at home this week.
Now you're talking.
Something specific, measurable, doable.
And when we make those kinds of goals, ones that really matter to us, that's when we tap into a different level of motivation, you know?
That's where her research on the 3 fundamental needs comes in, right?
Yes.
Tell us about those. I'm really curious.
So she says that lasting happiness, the kind we get from achieving our goals, it comes from these 3 needs: relatedness, competence, and autonomy.
Okay, break those down for us.
Let's start with competence. Have you ever, mastered a new skill, maybe learned an instrument, or, I don't know, finally baked the perfect loaf of sourdough bread?
Oh man, don't even get me started on sourdough.
Right. But think about that feeling that I did that. It's so satisfying.
Oh, absolutely. That feeling that you're making progress, that you're capable of learning new things. It's like, I'm not just a sourdough eater anymore. I'm a sourdough master.
Exactly. You nailed it. That's the competence need being met, that feeling of accomplishment. Like, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just individual skills too.
Yeah.
Think about being part of a team.
Yeah.
You know, working towards a shared goal, that sense of belonging. Like you're all in it together.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
There's that energy you get when a team really clicks, like everyone's pulling in the same direction.
Exactly. That's relatedness in action. And then the third need is autonomy, that sense that you have control over your choices, over your own path.
Right, like choosing a career because you're actually passionate about it, not just because it's what someone expects of you.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, Halvorson found that when our goals line up with these 3 needs, these competence, relatedness, autonomy things, we're way more likely to stick with them, even when things get hard.
Because let's be real, things always get hard at some point, don't they? You hit a roadblock, you have a setback, and that little voice pops up like, see? Told you this wouldn't work. You're not cut out for this.
And that, my friend, is the danger of a fixed mindset. That belief that our abilities are set in stone. We're either born with it or we're not.
Oof, yeah. I've definitely been trapped in that way of thinking before. I'm just not a math person. I'm not creative. But Halvorson says we have more power to change those abilities than we think, right?
Absolutely. We've got to cultivate that growth mindset instead. It's not about being good at something. It's about getting better.
So instead of I'm no good at this, it's I'm not good at this yet.
Yes. Exactly. That yet is everything. It opens up the possibility. It says, hey, I'm on a journey here. I'm learning and growing.
I love that. It's like we're always a work in progress, always evolving.
Precisely. And the research backs this up. This mindset shift can totally change how resilient we are, how we face challenges, and ultimately how successful we become.
So how do we actually put this into practice? Let's say I'm trying to learn, I don't know, a new language.
Perfect example. So you're learning this language and you hit a wall. You're not improving as fast as you want and you're getting discouraged.
Oh, I've been there. It's so easy to just want to give up at that point.
Yeah. Right. But here's where the growth mindset comes in. Instead of thinking, ugh, I'm just bad at languages, you shift your thinking. You're like, okay, this is tough. What can I learn from this? What can I try differently? You're focused on the process of getting better, not on labeling yourself as good or bad.
And this is where knowing yourself comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Halvorson talks about these two different ways people approach goals: promotion focus and prevention focus.
Oh, absolutely. It's like we each have our own motivational style.
So, like, how do you usually deal with
Oh,
deadlines?
good question.
Are you someone who, like, needs that pressure to get things done?
You know me so well. I'm definitely the thrive under pressure type, which, let's be honest, really just means I procrastinate until the very last minute. Classic promotion focus. It means you're all about chasing those wins, those exciting moments. You're probably great at like brainstorming, taking charge, going after opportunities.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of scary accurate. But I'm guessing there are downsides, too. Like, there's a reason my life feels like organized chaos half the time.
Well, sometimes those with a promotion focus, they might not be the best planners, or they might jump into things without thinking it through.
Makes sense. So tell me about the prevention focus folks. They sound like they have their life together.
They're all about avoiding those mistakes, keeping things stable and predictable. Think 10 minutes early is on time and on time is late.
They probably have color-coded calendars, too.
Probably. And to-do lists for their to-do lists. But it works for them.
Okay, so totally different approaches, but neither one is better. It's just about knowing yourself, right?
Exactly. Play to your strengths. If you're more promotion focused, great. Just maybe build in some extra planning time, just in case. And if you're more prevention focused, awesome. Just don't be afraid to take a chance every now and then.
I love it. Okay, so we've got our SMART goals. We're working on that growth mindset, and we're figuring out our own personal style. But even with all that, staying motivated every single day is hard.
That's so true. It's not just about willpower, right? Halvorson talks about how important our environment is, too.
Like, how our surroundings can actually affect our motivation.
Yeah, she calls it unconscious goal activation. It's like we're constantly being influenced by the things around us without even realizing it.
Okay, give me an example. How does that actually work?
Imagine this. You're walking through your house and you see your running shoes by the door, right? It's just a visual cue. But suddenly you're thinking about that goal you set to exercise more, and you're way more likely to actually go for a run because of it.
Wait, so just seeing my running shoes can make me want to exercise?
Exactly. Our brains are wild like that. We form these subconscious connections all the time, so we can use that to our advantage. Want to eat healthier? Put
Yeah.
that fruit bowl right on the counter where you can't miss it.
Like, if I see the cookie jar, then I grab an apple instead.
I like it.
Yes. Make the healthy choice the easy choice. And that actually brings us to willpower, which is another thing Halvorson talks about that I think is super interesting.
I am here for it.
Mm.
I can always use more willpower. Right. We tend to think of willpower as this thing we can just, like, summon at will, right?
Yeah, like we just have to try harder.
But it doesn't really work like that.
Yeah.
Self-control is actually more like a muscle. If you work it too hard, it gets tired.
So it's not that we're lazy or anything. It's that we're just using up all our willpower and not giving ourselves a break.
Exactly. Think about it like training for a marathon. You're not going to go out and run 26 miles on day one, right? You got to build up to it, and you got to give yourself rest days, too.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So it's not just about pushing ourselves to the limit all the time. It's about listening to our bodies and taking breaks when we need them. And then we can come back even stronger, right?
You got it. It's about finding that balance.
This has been amazing. So we've learned about setting better goals, getting that growth mindset going, working with our natural tendencies. We even talked about how our surroundings and knowing when to recharge our willpower can make a huge difference.
And we can't forget about being realistically optimistic, right? Believing we can do it, but knowing that there will be bumps along the way.
Right. It's like have that I got this attitude, but also be ready to adjust course, to try new things if something isn't working.
Exactly. It's all about the journey.
I love that. So to everyone listening, remember, you don't need some magic formula to reach your goals. It's all about understanding how your brain works and using these strategies that actually work. And if you want to dive deeper, definitely check out Heidi Grant Halvorson's book, Succeed.
It's a must read.
Absolutely. So till next time, keep those goals high and those mindsets even higher. We'll see you on the next deep dive.